Hi, so if you're watching this video, you probably know by now that I don't live in Trinidad anymore. But I'm sure you have a lot of questions as to how, why, when. So in order to explain myself, I think I need to start from the beginning. So let's start from the beginning. Some of you guys may know that I've been a teacher in Trinidad for over 6 years, but I taught in a private school. So all the teacher benefits that you probably heard about teachers getting from the ministry and whatnot, I never really benefited from that being a public school teacher. As a matter of fact, my salary was way less than what a public school teacher in Trinidad was making. So it wasn't really the most sustainable job, right? However, I didn't really mind it because I love my job. I love the students I interact with. I love most of the staff. Like, it was a pretty cool job. But it was last year, November, was when I realized, wow, I've been in this job for a while. We had an awards day and they gave me this award for being in the job for 5 years. And it then dawned on me, wow, I've been in this job for 5 years. So I thought to myself, what am I doing? Like, where do I see myself in the next 5 years? In the same job? Nah, something has to give. Now, last year, I started my diploma in education, which was another thing that I've thought about for a couple of years after working, but I never really had the willpower to do it. And I decided last year, you know what? Let me actually do it. And doing this program, it made me realize that, yeah, I kind of need to find somewhere else to work to grow as a person because I can't really see myself working here for that long. And that's when one of my friends, yet again, sent me the application for the JET program. Now, let me explain what the JET program is. Every year, the Japanese Embassy of Trinidad and Tobago, they send out applications for the Japanese Exchange and Teaching Program, or what is called the JET program, right? Now, for the past 3 years, friends have been sending me this application because they know how much I love Japanese culture. They know how much I love anime. They know how much I love Japanese food. So they're like, you teach, why not apply, right? Now, I've studied to apply for these couple years. However, let me tell you something about what they look for in this program. They actually don't really look for much. At most, they really want you to have a degree, right? However, if it is your degree is in education or English, they will of course favor you more. My degree is in chemistry, so I always thought, I don't think they would even watch my application because of that. But another thing they also look for is if you have teaching experience. Now, it's not mandatory to have teaching experience, it's just an asset. So I do have that as an advantage. But then it came to the application process itself. Every time I click the link to watch it and I see how long it is, I always feel a little anxious to actually apply because they require so much information from you. First off, you have to do up a form in triplicate. You can't staple the form. You can't make mistakes on the form. You have to get your transcripts. You have to send copies of your degree and get it signed by an affidavit. Like, the whole process is really long and very specific. And if you make one mistake, they're just going to throw your application in the garbage. So that was very intimidating. But thank God for friends. Thank God for Chantal. So Chantal was one of my friends I went to UWI with for chemistry. And she applied last year and got through. So I decided, well, okay, Chantal is willing to help me with this application. Let me not delay this any further. So that's exactly what I did. With her help, she broke down every single thing for me in detail, what they want, what they look out for. And because of her, I was able to have more confidence applying for this JET program. Another thing they did was recommendations, got my recommendations and everything. Now, I don't know what happened, but life happened. So many things were happening around this time when I was looking to apply. And it reached the point where the day of the deadline was when I ended up having to drop off my application. And I literally dropped it just as the embassy closed. But thankfully, the guys were really kind and they still took my application. But because of that, I was like, they're probably going to throw my thing in the trash because it was a little late. But then a month later, they called me and they were like, hey, you got the interview. And I'm like, the interview? I got the interview. And most times, if it is you get the interview, there's a very fat chance that you're going to get through to the program. So I was really hopeful. The interview was pretty interesting. So like they would ask me specific questions about, you know, what I like in Japan. They would ask me things about Japan, like, you know, the currency and stuff. It was a pretty cool interview. I was very nervous because I didn't know what they were going to ask me. But yeah, that interview happened the month after, which was January of this year. And April, I got a call back and said that my interview was successful and I got through. Now, from April was when everything just got chaotic. Like, as soon as I found out that I got through, it was just emails after emails and sending supportive documents. My school contacted me, my predecessor contacted me, apartments, getting all my life together, making sure my affairs in order, sending out resignation letters. Like, it was just so chaotic. So, if you interacted with me between April to June, I am so sorry. But whatever headspace my mind was at, it was just focused on making sure that all my eggs were in order. So if I felt distant or anything, that is why. Because there was just so many things happening. Not to mention, remember, I started my debate last year. So around that time was when I had like assignments after assignments due. I had my practical assessment in May that I was preparing for. And then the middle of April happened with Charlie's death, which really affected me because she knew about me applying for the JET program. And we were both excited when I got the call for the interview. And she was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to visit you the next year. And we could like tour Asia together and stuff. But of course, you know, that can't happen now. So yeah, so that was literally all that chaos. And then we had like orientations to go in Trinidad. We met up with former Jets who was giving us advice. Like it was just a whirlwind of different things that were happening within this process. And then of course, as time went on and the time staying in Trinidad got shorter and shorter and shorter, like it was just so much chaos to me that it just felt like a whirlwind. So then it came to the day that we were actually leaving Trinidad. Now, like I said, even though it was chaotic, it was scheduled chaos. So it's not to say that Jet had me like in a whirlwind of confusion. No, I knew like step by step what was happening, what were the next steps and whatever. They were very thorough and very specific in letting us know like what we have to do to prepare ourselves, what we have to bring to prepare ourselves, and what to look forward to in the next couple of days when it is we reach in Tokyo. So how it goes is that we go to Tokyo, we have orientation there for a few days, learning about how it's like teaching in Japan, the culture of Japan, the rules, the laws, those sort of things, right? How to interact with JTEs. JTEs are basically teachers who are fluent in Japanese. So they're kind of like your translators in a way. And well, I'm an ALT, which is an assistant learning teacher, so I'm fluent in English. So we would work together to teach lessons to the students. So we would have these orientations, and they're very, very specific with time. For example, let's say they start something at 8:30. You need to reach there by 8:25. If you reach any later than that, you are considered late, even though it starts 8:30. And they start 8:30 on the dot. They're very, very specific with time. So yeah, those 2 days was just orientation. In terms of exploring Tokyo itself, it was very limited. We had to like do it in the night, which is why the next couple of videos you're going to be seeing of me posted in Tokyo is nighttime videos, because during the day we had orientation, and then when orientation ended, we just was sent straight to our prefecture. Sorry, my prefecture is Nagasaki, and if you look on the map where Tokyo is from Nagasaki, it's far. So I had to take a plane to get to Nagasaki. And then when I reached Nagasaki, it was peace again. My JTE picked me up. We had lunch. We went all around the place because now I had to make sure that I go to the city town to make them know that I'm here. I had to get a bank account. I had to do like a bunch of different like adult things. But yeah, that's pretty much all I could say about this right now. Currently it's Sunday morning. I have like a week break this week until I seriously start working. I had to go in school a couple of times since I've been here to Nagasaki because the Japanese school system is way different than Trinidad, and I'll get into that in another video, right? But at this moment, I'm just trying to settle in and stuff, but I just wanted to give you all a gist of what's been happening. I may be posting some Trini content from time to time because I still have a few Trini videos in my drafts to post. So don't be confused if you see me post both Japanese and Trini content from time to time. Just have some patience with me in terms of messaging me, mostly because there is a bit of a time difference. Like Japan is 13 hours ahead of Trinidad. So when y'all messaging me, just keep that time difference in mind, right? Anyway, that's it for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and look out for me making more vlogs like this in the future. Bye.